And hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, we look at this Bronco team. They come in off a loss last time out, but they've been playing better than 500 ball the last couple months. 5 wins in their last 8 games. On the other side of the field for the visiting Raiders, they come in mired in a brutal stretch right now. Losers of 8 straight games.
Can you imagine going 2 straight months without winning a game and still trying to hold it together? They've got to find some inspiration somewhere that can lead them to a victory.
Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. This fielded at the 2. Now they'll run it on the toss. In a word, I would say productive, finding the end zone 3 different times.
Is it possible that you're really underselling it? 3 touchdowns, just going to call him productive?
What do you want?
This guy had a nose for the end zone.
He was good.
Had a snoot full, didn't he? How about that? Big-time game. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And they'll go on the ground. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
On the carry, here's Clement. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down. So on 4th down, here's Johnny Townsend to punt it. Back deep is DJ Chark. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by the man running the show, Charles, their quarterback.
And what I enjoyed in preparing for this game was talking not just with the coaching staff, but with him as well. And I found it interesting that the coaching staff sees him one way, and he sees himself an entirely different way.
Yeah, one thing he said he's always working on. We know he's not bad at this, but his footwork, always wants to improve that, and that's something he's going to focus on here.
And what was so funny, with the offensive coordinator say right off the top, he's got great footwork. Love his footwork. So this guy is never satisfied.
First play of the drive going for 14 and a 1st down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
On 1st and 10, Webster. And down he goes. Brought down a Raider sack. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it. And it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
Detroit! Detroit!
Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it third down.
But it looks like they caught him off guard on second and very long by running the football. All right, we always talk about tendency breakers and counters and doing things opposite the grain, and that worked very well for them. Picked up really nice yardage, but they still have a lot of work to do on third down.
On third down, Webster. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. That's a throw he'd like to have back. Now fourth down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So on fourth down, here's Marquette King to punt it away. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Taking it about the 16. A second spin. And he gets it here to right around the 24 before he's out of bounds. An 8-yard return there after a punt of 47. And the Raiders will take over now, 1st and 10. The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups.
Now Carr throwing on second down. Man open left side, it's Williams. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards as the quick slant keeps the drive moving.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Carr gonna throw. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jason Verrett, and his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. Well, when you start thinking of guys that are in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year, I think you use him as Exhibit A. Maybe he's not the leading guy right now, but he's at least on the periphery and deserves to be in the discussion.
And because of that, he's looking at a game today where in order to make that big move and maybe become the guy, he needs multiple takeaways, multiple big plays, things that get our attention and reverberate for weeks to come.
9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
This is Breida. The All-Pro Justin Houston in on the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping Those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They run with Breida. And he'll get a couple here down to the 22.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Four down. Alert. Gun. Let's go, D.
Operating from the gun. Webster under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31.
We always talk about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on third down. And McManus able to put it through. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-zip. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the three.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
Derek Carr getting ready to go again on offense. He'll look to shake off the interception on the opening drive. He should at least be comforted that it resulted in 3, not 6.
And if I were him, I would be the guy all the way out on the field greeting my defense now, saying thanks a lot. He held them to a field goal after I turned it over. That's a big defensive stand for them. He needs to go out now and make up for what he did on the first drive.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we've hit the end of quarter 1. 3-0 is our score. Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Raiders in possession of the football. They've got a third down and a yard to start things out. To throw his Carr. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jason Verrett. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
46 is right there. Check him.
On first down, Webster. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Here's Breida. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves him needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Gun. All day, dog.
To throw on 3rd down, Webster. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. The quick slant, good for a first down, a gain of 12.
But we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
And he'll get it down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
Now it's Breida. And he'll be brought down at about the 25 after a pickup of 4.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
The Broncos on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Now they'll run it on the toss. Evades him at the 20. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And finally wrestled down at the 8-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that first. Broncos with their first trip to the red zone thus far. This is 1st and goal from about the 8. And he fires one incomplete. Eric Ebron, the big tight end, his intended target. And that'll bring up second down.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3, and not giving up 6.
Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal.
3-19!
Back to throw. Webster steps away to his left. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Taco Charlton in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack, but he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
The Broncos on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and goal. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a decent gain on the ground. Call it 6, but it still leaves them with a ways to go on 4th and goal. And McManus able to put it through. And that will make it 6-0. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
And as we see so frequently here in Colorado, that one over the end line, so it'll come out to the 25. Derek Carr getting set and ready to go again on offense here. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the 2nd quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks. No touchdown passes yet either. And got his man complete. And out across midfield down to the 45. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45.
Get set.
Now the handoff looking right. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. And there on the tackle, Shaq Lawson. Then he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Get down. 180.
Carr to throw on 2nd down. And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long. Shotgun now for Carr. He's got a man. It's Williams. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. They convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now they try the right side here. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And he's got about 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 25. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to Denver right after this. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
So if you like field goals, you've come to the right spot. We've had 3 so far.
But this is a football game, right?
It is.
You like that one, huh? You like where I went with that? How about that one?
I like it.
Okay, but hey, let's face it. In this game right now, both defenses have responded well. They're trying to hold the line on this. You just wonder if anyone can break through with a touchdown and put some pressure on their opposition.
And Denver getting set to take the field. We do know that they are postseason bound, but they're leaking a little oil, so to speak, as they kind of limp into January.
Yeah, and that oil can set fire to their season, can't it?
Look at that.
See what I did there? But here's the...
He's got a man, complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
All right, now, look at 56.
Throwing on 1st down. Webster. Now he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down. Justin Houston in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately. I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
A few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
That is caught at the 7. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime.
Detroit! Detroit! Hey. 4 down.
Looking to throw. Webster. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line, 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. Oh, now he will fight his way into the end zone for a Bronco touchdown. A great effort there as the first half is winding down, and the Broncos will extend their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team is looking for a new quarterback.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. And they'll run it here. Space to maneuver at the 40. And finally, down at the 41-yard line. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Throwing on first down is Carr. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. The final shot here before half for Carr. He's airing it out for Williams. Floating one incomplete. So we've come... And now due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Breida. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On 1st and 10, Webster. And he slings one that's incomplete. The intended receiver, Marquise Goodwin. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
The Broncos on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, Webster. He may try and run for this. And he slides to avoid the hit.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating? The guys who just gave up that play.
The Broncos on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3.
4 down. Alert.
Operating from the gun, Webster. And able to find Dorsett. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and they picked up a first down for him, too.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 42-yard line.
Check 43.
Back to throw. Webster. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
Hey, boys, we got 4 down. Set. Blue, 90.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. There he goes inside the 30. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. That good for 19 and a first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive. Because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense gets a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
4 down.
Now a play fake here on first down. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
And he's able to find some room as they get him down after a good run. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Webster, and he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
I know in every game we do, we talk about momentum. That was a momentum play lost. And now there could be a letdown because they didn't get the interception.
Yeah, you could almost hear the collective gasp on the sideline as he could not come up with that football. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
On second down, here's Carr. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. The reception good for 7. It's third down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Now a handoff looking right. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
Well, these guys going to chop into that deficit. They're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone. And now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage. And, again, that second score here in the third quarter. On first down, Webster looking deep for Adams. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way home for a Broncos score. As his guys are in for 6. And the Broncos will add on to their lead. And he showcased his blazing speed on that one.
Was he wearing football cleats or track spikes? Because he was gone. Big-time play, and just think about what that does if you're a receiver on the team with him. Well, that's got to open things up for you as well, because if I'm a defense, I've got to get back deeper and deeper in order to keep him in front. But I'm not sure how many can actually keep him in front with that speed.
And now the offense is going to stay out there as the Broncos will go for 2. Looking to throw. Webster buying time to his left. And he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by 2 more. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. And now here come the Raiders. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk. Come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that. We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line is just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe you keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now. On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
Here's a 1st and 10 now after they successfully drew him off sides.
Now, waiting.
And they'll go on the ground. Takes this one across the 35 to the 36, a gain of about 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
I got 83. Me.
Monday, down.
Now a play fake. Carr. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Maybe a little frustration starting to creep in. The offensive line hasn't done a great job of protecting him in this game, and there he was, hit again as he threw it.
Yeah, another time on his backside, probably starting to get a little frustrated.
Got to keep his composure. Can't let the defense know that they're getting to him.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
39.
Monday, down. Blue 80.
Throwing his car on third down. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Leonard Williams in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to fourth down.
Looks like another empty possession here, partner, and I don't think with 3 scores down in the third quarter, they can truly afford any more the rest of the way.
No, especially the way their offense is sputtering. I think you're exactly right. They got to find some answers quickly. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. And Denver getting set to take the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, we'll see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. I mean, that's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
Carl Joseph up from his safety spot to make the play.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instinct. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. The Broncos on third down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. Here it's 3rd and 3. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver first down. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The Broncos on third down, 5 out of 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Hey, we got 4. We got 4 down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. Here's Marquette King now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way...
And now off to the races down the right side. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Tyrell Williams, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Raiders make some inroads here on that deficit.
Partner, you know what the real key is to stopping a good passing attack?
You tell me.
Being able to tackle as soon as a guy catches the football.
Didn't work out there.
No, because when you give up the big run after catch, the rack yardage, that puts your defense in a big-time stressful position.
A lot of rack yardage and a touchdown there on the big play. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So the Broncos come back out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And right now they're in that number 2 spot. They'd love to hold on to that, but first things first, they want to clinch that division.
Let's go back to the conversation we had with the coaching staff, and you asked that very question about how important is it really? You got a good team. Can't you win from any spot in the play? They all looked at us like we were crazy, right? You can do it from a lower seed, but no one really wants to try it. Higher seed, much better for them. They want to clinch this division.
Definitely don't want to slip to 5 or 6 and go on the road in that first playoff game. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
And they'll run it here. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a 3rd down and 8.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. The Broncos on 3rd down. They've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. This is 3rd and 8.
4 down.
Back to throw. Webster. He'll find Goodwin here on the right side. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. That's the first catch of the game for Goodwin. It's a first down. And looking to put this game on ice in the 4th quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. Now it looks like we've got a Bronco that's banged up on the play. And in Week 17, let's hope this won't affect him for the playoffs. We'll step aside. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. Looking to throw. Webster. And the Raiders have got him.
All day. We coming all day.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And now they're looking for 19 yards here on 3rd down following 2 negative plays.
Hey.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play will go nowhere, losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
If you're the coaching staff upstairs, you might want to file that play away. Did you see how fast the safety closed on that one? Coming up in run support, made a big-time tackle. Might want to try and check into a pass next time.
Yeah, got him for a loss. Really, really great play defensively. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
Down. 180. Hold on.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. And bulldozing his way through. Caught left side, Williams. Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a first down. First down now, but that clock rolling. Carr now on 1st down. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Give him a first down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders. Clock running here, under 90 seconds to go. Carr now on 1st down. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Williams. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again. They go play action here on 1st down. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And they're going to have this way down deep in Denver territory. Give him 30 yards there. Now whistles here, and I believe one of the Raider linemen might have been moving.
False start, offense.
They get the tackle, Marcus Gilbert, 2nd-round pick back in 2011 out of Florida. That false start knocks them back behind the 10 now as they'll try again, 1st and goal. Again, it's Carr. And too much on that one. It's out of the back of the end zone, incomplete. He was looking for Chris Godwin that time. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
So an incomplete pass a moment ago, and that leads to 2nd and goal. Now Carr again. His pass caught at the 4. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. A touchdown saving tackle there. Now it's 3rd and goal. Laundry on the field. This is going to be a false start on the offense.
Sometimes you have to slow things down a little bit when things get heated. The cadence has to be slow and deliberate at times to make sure your team's ready to go.
Ooh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
A bad time for a false start penalty as they're backed up now for 3rd and goal. Again, they'll throw with Carr. And it's caught. He's got it for a late touchdown, but probably a little too late. It would take a miracle of epic proportions if they're going to pull this one off. Coming from where they were, they knew this was going to be tough, but they got the touchdown. Now they need the miracle, the onside kick and a little extra.
Yeah, and you have to get the onside kick and not have the ball bounce around a lot and eat up time. You want to be able to grab it, possess it, and get your offense out there for what you just termed a miracle last chance.
You always worry about the plant foot in the snow, but no problems there. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Well, partner, there's something special about a game in the snow. Just always fun in these elements, although a little chillier up here in the open-air booth. The only thing that's not fun is that we got the mid-game notification that our flight was canceled tonight, but we'll deal with that later. It was really a fun game to watch, though.
It was, and there is something special about games played in the snow because the element of surprise really kicks in. You don't know how they're going to handle the ball, if someone's going to make a dramatic play just out of nowhere, and all of a sudden it just changes the course of things. But a big shout out to our crew to make sure that we were comfortable up here, as comfortable as one could be. In these elements, they took care of us and made sure we were dressed properly.
So for the Broncos, a final win means they will finish off the regular season at a very strong 12-4. And now they'll await the final seeding for the playoffs ahead. Meanwhile, for Oakland, this loss will be the capper to a dismal 4-12 campaign. And with some high picks coming in this spring's draft, it's a team for whom a roster overhaul